Hi, this is Sharon Massey. I am a Stampin' Up! Independent demonstrator, and you're here with me side by side to stamp together and learn together. I wanted to show you these cards. I made them because on last Friday I had this wonderful chance to go to a demonstrator's retreat, and it was awesome. And I met people that I never would have met otherwise, and I just loved making new friends. That's what I like about being a part of this Stampin' Up! Family. So I made these cards, and then yesterday I went to teach at Fort Sam Houston at the Warrior and Family Support Center, and the gals and guys there like these cards so much that I decided that I would just kind of show you how to do it. It is a very simple card with a lot of different things that you can do to it. So we'll get on with that, and I will just move these aside and tell you what you need. You're going to need some basic black cardstock. This measures 8.5 by 5.5. It's scored at 4 1/4, and that's going to give you your card base. And then we're going to put layers on top of this. We're going to take the Melon Mambo layer, and the Melon Mambo layer, when it is laid on here, it is going to be, and I'm just going to make sure this is going to be 5 1/4 by 4. So that's the next layer you're going to put on it. And then the next layer is going to be another black piece. And this is 5 by 3 3/4. You're going to layer that, and then you're going to have some DSP. And the DSP you're going to choose when you put it on there is going to be, it's going to measure 4 3/4 by 3.5, and you'll layer that. Now this, I was trying to use up some of the discontinued DSP, and that's it. But if you'll look in the 2017-2018 catalog, there's some lovely papers that would work well. So what you're going to do is you just layer those all together and glue them together, and that is what you're going to start with. You're also going to need a piece of Whisper White, and this is cut at 5 by 3 3/4. So, and what I did, that's for the inside. I went on and pre-cut this. Live with passion, laugh out loud, love deeply. Each card I made, and I've made many of these now, has a different strip over here because I'm using scraps. So it's whatever scraps are available, that's what I put on the side. So that's going to go down on the inside like so. So we've now done the card base, and we can build the elements. To do those elements, you're going to need this wonderful stamp set. And this stamp set is called Beautiful You. And we're going to use this image right here. And then we use this particular sentiment right here for the inside. So those are the two things that we're going to use. So what you do is you stamp your lady of choice. And I just used the archival black and stamped. And then what you're going to do after that is you are going, I would recommend coloring her while she is there. And so what I did is I just used my good old blender pen, and I used some of the stamps. I'm sure y'all have seen this many times where you're putting a lot of pressure. You're trying to mash the pad so that it goes up into the lid so that you have it like this. Blender pens are wonderful, and I'm just doing this to make sure that I haven't left any residual ink on that. So you just pick that up, and I'm going to go underneath to shade her hat, and I want that to be fairly dark, so I will pick up additional ink. And now I'm going to go like this, and I'll just do that, and it's a much lighter shade, which is what you want. And I'm going to pick up just a little bit more and go back in there and darken it up. So you just go on and continue to color that way. The colors I used Blushing Bride for her skin tone, and I did go back and pick up some of the basic gray to make the shaded part of the hat even darker. And so then I end up with something that take a pair of scissors, and that you see me just cleaning off the blender pen. So once you've got her colored, and you really don't have to color a lot on this particular one because we're going to be making this card right here. You don't have to color her a lot. Basically, you're coloring her arms and her face and everything, and she's now cut out. And so what you need to do now is you've got to dress her. This is like paper dolls. It's so much fun. So what I do is I just take, this is the side that I want up, facing up, and I'm just going to put her, and I'm going to scooch it over on one side because if I don't like it, that will give me room to do a second cut. And then I'm going to take a pencil or a pen, and I'm just going to mark the edges. And since I don't have a pencil or a pen, I'm just actually going to take my scissors and do it. I've moved my pencil and my pen, and I'm just going to kind of give it, and I just want to come up and go into her waist and pull that off. You can give her a bouffant skirt if you want to. You can give her a straight one. So any kind of skirt you want. So you get to play fashion designer here. I don't know, I've always done this with a pencil, so we'll see how this works like this. So I've got this skirt that will now go on top of her like this, and I can go back in and trim as I need. So I'm going to pull that up like that, and I'll just take my glue runner. Excuse my phone going off in the background. Oops, got it upside down. Just put a little bit of glue on there, and I'm just going to glue her skirt right there. And then what I'll do is I'll go back in, and what I don't like, I'm going to trim. Like this is a little fuller than I want it. So I'm going to go in and just trim a little bit off. And I'm going to give her a nip at the waist. And then what I'll do is I want her skirt to be a little wavy at the bottom. And so just to give it a little bit. So then you've got that particular piece that you will put there on your card. Very simple to do. Then what you're going to do is you are going to use the Lovely Words framelit set. And I'm going to pull this over here. I went on and die cut it. And the reason you're seeing this, the actual die, I'm just going to lift this up for a minute. That is the die that you're going to use. And it says friend, and it has a circle around it. You can do so many things with this. I chose to cut it and then just snip out the word friend, but you can do it so that you have different frame widths around it. So I did this one, and I didn't particularly like it because it was so thin and a little uneven. So then I went in with a larger, and this is from the layering ovals. And I just took the layering oval, and I just found one that I liked the better margin on it. And so I ran that through, just like that, through the Big Shot. And then I'm going to come back and lift this off. And then I'm going to go in here. If y'all have not used this yet, this little tool, this is a die cutting brush, and it helps get out all of the little things and helps release the paper. So we're going to just do this. And now I'm going to pull it like this. Come in here and pick this up and just lift that out. And I can see that I still have my B has a little bit, so I'm going to do that. And see if I got everything out there. I think we're good. Oops, the E has something right here. Then if it's such a little hole, I don't know if I'll be able to get that one out without just, I think I can just pick it out. Okay, so we're going to get that. We're going to lift that out and just gently remove that. And I'm just going to take, I'm going to set this aside, and I'm just going to take my scissors, and I'm just going to take the tip of my scissors because the top part of the E, it just didn't punch out, so we just punch it out. So now we've got something that if we want to layer it, we can have something like this. So you can have a larger frame, a small frame, and then if you want to, you can take your little girl and just stick her right on top. And so you could put her now on her when I did it. So if you prefer, you can see that on this one, I just cut it out. I just cut that out, so I just had the word friend. If you prefer the frame, by all means, put it on. Just glue it down and put it on. I am going to recommend to you that you use dimensionals on your little girl. And I just have fallen in love with something I want to show you. When I did this, I used the regular dimensionals. I just put one there and one up here. But then it's really hard. I want one up here and here, but sometimes those big dimensionals, Stampin' Up! Has come up with mini dimensionals, and I'm just so excited about the mini dimensionals because you can actually get them really in small spaces where it would be more difficult for a big one. Like a big one wouldn't even fit on her hat. And then all you do is you depress and remove it, and then remove it and attach all of those. So you can see there are a lot of different ways of doing it. This is the original way I did it. I then ran out of my old paper, so I pulled in some of the new paper that we have. Now the DSP is still out of, it's no longer, we don't have it any longer, but there are some really nice ones that you can go look at in the catalog. But this is the lemon lime twist paper and the ink, and that's in color. And so I did that. But when I taught class yesterday, what I love teaching is that women are so creative and they get all these different ideas. So we had one gal that what she did, instead of putting the DSP in front of this back piece, she put it behind, and she cut her friend out of the larger black piece and then laid it down over the DSP. Another one put hearts on her cards, and so I thought, well, I'll just combine the two that I saw. So the two ladies that contributed to this, Marcella did the hearts, and then Tiffany is the one who came up with this great idea. So just to give you an idea that you can do other things. And the other thing I wanted to show you was when you're cutting out these are the pieces that fall out. And when I saw those pieces, I thought, I'm sorry, but that looks like Frankenstein's hair. So I had to go home and see if I could make a Frankenstein. And this is the Frankenstein I came up with. And this is the part that fell out of the friend when we cut the friend out. And then I just took some circle punches and did this and kind of drew some things in. And I thought, okay, now that I've made Frankenstein, what am I going to do with Frankenstein? And so then I got a white bag, and this was done very hurriedly. It'll be nicer by the time I'm really done with it. And I just took some bat stamps and stamped some bats on there. This is going to be a Halloween bag. And then I just took some leftover, I'll use lots of scraps, trick or treat. And now I've got a Halloween bag, and it's all because of a piece of scrap that fell out of the die when we're doing it. So always try to think of what you can do with these strange pieces that come out. If I can be of any help to you, if I can be your demonstrator, I would be so excited to do that. You can go to my blog, www.stampsidebyside. I hope you like this. Be sure you subscribe. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you another time. Bye-bye.